How else could spies and assassins move about? Feyd-Rautha's mouth made a soundless "Oh." We've arranged diversions at the residency, Pita said. There'll be an attempt on the life of the Atreides heir. An attempt which could succeed. Pita, the Baron rumbled. I indicated accidents can happen, and the attempt must appear valid. Ah, but the lad has such a sweet young body, the Baron said. Of course he's potentially more dangerous than the father with that witch mother training him. Accursed woman. Ah, well, please continue, Pita. Hawat will have divined that we have an agent planted on him. The obvious suspect is Dr. Yui, who is indeed our agent. But Hawat has investigated and found that our doctor is a Suk school graduate with imperial conditioning, supposedly safe enough to minister even to the Emperor. Great store is set on imperial conditioning. It's assumed that the ultimate conditioning cannot be removed without killing the subject. However, as someone once observed, given the right lever, you can move a planet. We found the lever that moved the doctor. How? Feyd-Rautha asked. He found this a fascinating subject. Everyone knew you couldn't subvert imperial conditioning. Another time, the Baron said. Continue, Pita. In place of Yui, we'll drag a most interesting suspect across Hawat's path. The very audacity of this suspect will recommend her to Hawat's attention. Her? Feyd-Rautha asked. The Lady Jessica herself, the Baron said. Is it not sublime? Hawat's mind will be so filled with this prospect, it will impair his function as a mentat, Pita said. He may even try to kill her. Pita frowned then, but I don't think he'll be able to carry it off. You don't want him to, eh? Don't distract me, Pita said. While Hawat's occupied with the Lady Jessica, we'll divert him further with uprisings in a few garrison towns and the like. These will be put down. The Duke must believe he's gaining a measure of security. Then, when the moment is ripe, we'll signal Yui and we'll move in with our major force. Go ahead, tell him all of it, the Baron said. We'll move in strengthened by 2 legions of Sadakor, disguised in Harkonnen livery. Sadakor, Feyd-Rautha breathed, his mind focused on the dread Imperial troops. The killers without mercy, the soldier fanatics of the Padishah Emperor. You see how I trust you, Feyd, the Baron said. No hint of this must ever reach another great house, else the Landsraad might unite against the Imperial House, and there'd be chaos. The main point, Pita said, is this. Since House Harkonnen is being used to do the Imperial dirty work, we've gained a true advantage. It's a dangerous advantage, to be sure, but if used cautiously, we will bring House Harkonnen greater wealth than any other house in the Imperium. You have no idea how much wealth is involved, Feyd. Not in your wildest imaginings, the Baron said. To begin with, we'll have an irrevocable directorship in the Chom Company. Feyd-Rautha nodded. Wealth was the thing. Chom was the key to wealth. Each noble house dipping from the company's coffers whatever it could under the power of the directorships. Those Chom directorships, they were the real evidence of political power in the Imperium, passing with the shifts of voting strength within the Landsraad as it balanced itself against the Emperor and his supporters. The Duke Leto may attempt to flee to the new Fremen scum along the Desn's edge, Pita said, or he may try to send his family into that imagined security, but that path is blocked by one of His Majesty's agents, the planetary ecologist. You may remember him, Kynes. Feyd remembers him, the Baron said. Get on with it. You do not drool very prettily, Baron, Pita said. Get on with it, I command you, the Baron roared. Pita shrugged. If matters go as planned, House Harkonnen will have a sub-fief on Arrakis within a standard year. Your uncle will have dispensation of that fief. He owns his own personal agent will rule on Arrakis. More profits, Feyd-Rautha said. Indeed, the Baron said, and he thought, it's only just. We're the ones who tamed Arrakis, except for the few mongrel Fremen hiding in the skirts of the desert, and the same tamed smugglers bounded the planet almost as tightly as the native labor pool. And the great houses will know that the Baron has destroyed the Atreides, Pita said. They will know. They will know, the Baron breathed. Loveliest of all, Pita said, is that the Duke will know too. He knows now. He can already feel the trap. It's true the Duke knows, the Baron said, and his voice held a note of sadness. He could not help but know. More's the pity. The Baron moved out and away from the globe of Arrakis. As he emerged from the shadows, his figure took on dimension, grossly and immensely fat, and with subtle bulges beneath the folds of his dark robes to reveal that all this fat was sustained partly by portable suspensors harnessed in his flesh. He might weigh 200 standard kilos in actuality, but his feet would carry no more than 50 of them. I'm hungry, the Baron rumbled, and he rubbed his protruding lips with a beringed hand. He stared down at Feyd-Rautha through fat and folded eyes. Send for food, my darling. We will eat before we retire. That is the end of Chapter 2 of Dune. You want more?